Tonight, we are going to be talking about a historic moment in the formation of the new alliance between MAGA and socialism,
Oh,
the
no.
Zohrantov-Ribbentrump Pact. This
No.
is very exciting stuff, guys. We're going to make New York City affordable. We're going to make New York City great again with Zoran Mamdani in charge, Trump right behind him. We were so worried that he was going to invade, that he was going to send in ICE, that the National Guard was going to occupy. But it's easy street, guys. Everything is going to be fine. It's all going to be okay.
I don't know where that's going to go, man, honestly.
Trump is a socialist now, it looks like. He's totally down with this agenda. He seems to think that, maybe some of these ideas are a little kooky, but he's down to try it out. It's all, he was charmed. It's all
guaranteed.
Our boy did it.
Guaranteed. Trump is very much a creature of immediacy. Guaranteed Mamdani came in, was normal and charming, and Trump liked him. And then he just liked him, and none of the politics or political substance mattered. And he just
Jamil, it was just two guys from Queens, hanging out at the White House.
Basically. No, but I really honestly think that it's just that I just liked him on a personal level, and that's Trump's politics. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's the easiest explanation for what we saw on TV. It's been quite the sensation. I think there's just been a lot of hilarious memes. A lot of people have been going into what I can only describe as hysterics over it.
Yeah, what did they expect him to do? Like walk in there and just do Die Hard and pull out dual wield some Uzis and shoot up the what did they want?
Well, that's what people wanted Trump to do to Zoran. It seems like people on Trump's side are angry that he didn't arrest him and ship him off to El Salvador and
should have deported it to Uganda.
Yeah, to Uganda.
Obviously.
To the Uganda, if you look at Laura Loomer's Twitter page, it looks like she's ready to give up on the entire cause of Western civilization itself. She's really angry. She's just a little jealous of how Trump was eyeing Zoran. It looks like.
If Western civilization hinges on Laura Loomer, it's doomed. It's doomed. That's what a very weird episode, though. What else can you say about it? It's just very weird. Whatever makes, first off, the ruling class in New York is going to sabotage Mamdani in every way possible. If he can avoid the ire of the executive branch or of the executive as much as possible, all the better for him. All the better for implementing his program. But we'll see how it goes, because Trump is also a fickle creature, a creature of immediacy, and he can smile in his face one day and then turn against him the next, right? Looks like we lost our comrade.
Hold on, let me post this real quick if I don't get him back in. So listen, Trump might have been charmed by Zoran, but it's going to be a few minutes, or not a few minutes, but a few days before Stephen Miller sits him down and talks to him. And listen, Trump, this is the deal. This guy's not okay. He's a menace. He's the enemy of the American, the American civilization that MAGA is trying to create.
But Trump doesn't listen to anyone, really.
Yeah.
He only listens to Fox News. That's really the.
I think that meeting happened more or less immediately after Zoran left. I don't think that. I wouldn't make too much of that meeting, and I think a lot of the people saying that somehow he charmed him, or that socialism won, they're being very ridiculous.
Socialism won is a joke.
I was obviously being very facetious and joking.
No, but it's important to point out that these are things that people are actually saying. The co-chair of DSA said this. And Jacobin.
Really? Hold on. Where did they say this?
I think on Twitter, maybe.
Hold on.
But they were quoted on the New York Times commenting on it.
Yeah, that's just absolutely ludicrous if you think that Trump has been neutralized as a threat here. Listen, the reason the Zohrantov-Ribbentrump meme is actually kind of useful here is because you have two enemies, because let's be real, they are enemies who have decided that they are going to like wait another day to fight. They are not, in the end, like they have not neutralized the source of their enmity. They have not gotten rid of the source of the antagonism, so to speak, but they have simply decided that they've got enough on their plates right now to where they're going to wait another day to fight. But the fight is still going to happen because, this is, Trump this is not what Trump wants. Trump doesn't want like the democratic socialists of America like taking over his favorite city.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Trump doesn't care about anything in a way.
Well, maybe not Trump, but MAGA. The MAGA
MAGA is freaking out. That's for sure.
MAGA is going, because the way I kind of see it is Trump is almost like just a vessel for MAGA and all the different kind of interests within MAGA to act through Trump.
Yeah, it's very hard to come up with. What more can we say? I mean, it was a very weird meeting.
Are you sure this isn't like a red-brown kind of thing?
No, I find those takes to be just absolutely ridiculous. Like,
the thing that the thing I am a bit worried is what did Mamdani have to say? Or
what did they agree to? Because
what were the secret protocols? Because that was like the actual like Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Like the worst part about it was the secret protocols. Like,
it was contingent on partitioning Poland, right? So, the profoundly unjust partition, right? So,
yeah, obviously there's a kind of dramatic.
What does Chris Morlock say about this? I'm dying to know.
Oh yeah, we should talk about what the ACP guys are saying about this. But yeah, I think my kind of take on it is, listen, like Trump is like, I see him as, he's ideologically not a fascist or whatever, but like I see MAGA as like basically a fascist or fascistic movement, and I see Trump as, the head of this movement. And, I hate the guy with a passion. I think he's disgusting, pedophile, et cetera, et cetera. There's no, anybody who's listened to this stream or has known me or knows me knows my contempt for MAGA, my contempt for Trump. That said, I don't think meeting with Trump and shaking his hand and making deals with him is in itself bad per se. I don't think that is even necessarily a betrayal of class independence per se.
Yeah, the main thing is
what matters is like what kind of backroom secret deals they made.
Yeah, that's what's a bit more. That's definitely what's more worrying.
Yeah, and if they made a deal to where like ICE is allowed to like operate with impunity, but like Trump gets to like build like a bunch of housing,
I would regard that as a profound betrayal.
Yeah,
that would be a profound betrayal. I would probably tear up my DSA card at that point because like. Just
well, I think more likely what he probably said about the ICE stuff was like they're gonna need a warrant.
Yeah,
right.
Well, there was actually some discussion on the potential of what the collaboration might be like, and there was something about like 170 specific criminal cases that Trump is like interested in New York City. I think that they want cooperation on, like specific felony cases.
Yeah,
but
dangerous precedent, not good.
Yeah, it is a dangerous precedent, but at the same time, like
no, but the thing I think
Donnie can't really say you can't like enforce felony laws in New York City, like as the federal government, right? Like it's it's a tough situation.
He can't tell him he can't deploy ICE or the National Guard either.
Right.
Like if we're being honest.
Yeah, once again, this is kind of This is the cost of taking executive power.
Yeah, this is what I was like. I don't think like the New York City DSA people who have been advising Mamdani even thought about this in the slightest bit.
No, I think they have. I think they're just, okay.
They just don't see it as a problem. Like,
they see it as the police are. If the police do what they have to do, they're good, and charging people and throwing them in jail is good sometimes, and blah blah blah. So, and I don't think they have a deeply critical understanding of the capitalist or bourgeois state.
Well, let me put the chat up.
They don't really have any issue occupying or trying to occupy positions within the state, right? So, I mean, this is the contradiction of taking executive power under conditions that are of relative normalcy. Right? That is where there isn't a war.
But now we're stuck in this situation, and the Americans somewhat take responsibility for this, and you know.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation. You know, I think his calculation, once again, I keep repeating the same thing over and over, but I think that all of Mamdani's capitulations, vacillations come down to one thing: the hope that in compromising on whatever positions, he will be afforded space by the ruling class to implement his program. And he probably calculates that if he implements its program, it will be beneficial. It will have hugely beneficial effects for the socialist movement that outweigh whatever sacrifices he had to make on the way there. The only thing is that I think that calculation is premised on is naive, because I don't think that I think the American ruling class is the most arrogant ruling class in the Western world, and that it will not cede an inch on anything, right? No matter what, and it will bury you and sabotage you before you can get even an inch of your mile-long program in place, right? So I'm I as optimistic as I am about what this election kind of means in the long term, I think that in the short term we can look forward to a whole lot of bullshit in New York. They're really gonna fuck over Mamdani. I don't think he's gonna get anything through, but I hope I'm wrong. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing set in stone.
Yeah.
Huh?
We'll see. Well, nothing's set in stone.
No, nothing's set in stone.
We'll see. This is the beginning of the process, and we don't know how. Regardless of whatever you think, Mamdani is whether he's a dyed-in-the-wool communist or whatever, we don't know how the rest of New York is going to react to anything that happens, and we don't know how DSA, for example, will react as time goes on. There might be a shift.
The ruling class, though, is just so good at sabotaging things behind the scenes in such a way as to make it look like the fault of who's ever in power. They're just so good at it. We were talking the other day, Joseph, about how just like creditors can just increase borrowing costs. Right?
Well, they did that in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
In New York City, they bankrupted the city government, and then they put the city government in receivership.
Yeah.
It's actually there's actually the big reason why Mamdani's not going to be able to do a lot of, like, for example, the free buses stuff is because of that. A lot of those laws are still in place that do not allow the city government to unilaterally do certain things.
Yeah. So, there are any number of ways in the what is it, in the words of Henry Kissinger, make the economy bleed. Isn't that what he said?
Well, they basically put New York City under direct control of the bankers when that happened, right? Well, they basically put New York City under direct control of the bankers when that happened.
Yes. Yeah. They did.
So, listen, this is...
So you had Christian Bale
ruled by finance capital. That's for the first time, like, attempting some real, like, kind of socialist policies. And, it's like the way that it's all, like, framed as, like, cost of living and affordability, like, it kind of struck me was, like, how much, like, Zoran and Trump were able to, like, basically, like, frame their agendas as, like, basically, like, in agreement with each other. Like, we both want things to be more affordable.
I spoke to a lot. It's crazy how, like, speaking to a lot of, like, strangely enough, a lot of Latinos, they're like, things were so much better for me under Trump. That's why I'm voting for Trump. I'm like, dude, it has nothing to do with Trump's policies or anything he did. It's cyclic. And not only that, but like, bruh, your parents are undocumented. What are you doing? What on earth are you doing?
It's not even like a particular danger just for undocumented people. They're picking up citizens too.
Yeah, man.
Just racially profiling people.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's. But so many people are.
That's
many people are attracted to him.
A lot of people in Miami have buyer's remorse about Trump, I think.
Yeah.
Still a lot of people there still have like MAGA brain worms, but like there seems to be like some buyer's remorse creeping
No,
through.
yeah. No, it's the same here. It's definitely the same here. I mean, like DC is like probably like easily 10-15% Central American, like easily. And my area must be like 20 or 30% or something like that. So the vast majority of them fucking hate Trump though. Like the vast majority.
I want to bring up this comment. Do you think Trump might try to use New York social democrats as cat's paws? Useful for him have someone covering him in the executives of New York.
Okay, I'm a dum-dum. What is that expression?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, let me make sure I'm getting it right, but yeah, someone like doing your dirty work for you, basically.
Oh,
How would that work with Mamdani though? How would
Yeah,
he
that's the
do
thing.
his
Like,
dirty work?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Trump is also kind of happy to have people do he's happy to do the dirty work and not hide it, you know? I mean, he doesn't give a shit. He also understands that he can fuck over the hogs and it doesn't matter that the chuds will keep like bowing at like the, you know, keep worshiping him. You know, so the guy gave massive tax breaks to billionaires and like fucked over so many people when it came to like health insurance, and still so many of the chuds are like, hell yeah, brother, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess a way to kind of like sell it to the left, you know, maybe to get Democrats on board with things. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I just think that
I don't think he's playing 4D chess, man.
I think if he is playing 4D chess, he's just trying to make us complacent and comfortable when we shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But hold on, let's look at some of these clips because this shit is really fucking funny. Like, regardless of how you feel about this stuff, you know, it's fucking.
Trump is he's completely fucked legally. He's like the most indicted person ever.
Here's the one that
I don't think he's worried about courts, bro.
I did everything right, and they still indicted me.
I mean, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? I mean, we're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I changed a lot. From when I first came to office. It's now quite a while ago. It's quite a while. My first term was great. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're doing even better now. We're doing much better now than we did even the first term. And I can tell you some of my views have changed. And we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he's going to be. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually, and some very liberal people. He won't surprise them because they already like him. I mean, he's got views.
What does he mean by that?
I don't.
Bro, Trump literally it's just stream of consciousness. It's like James Joyce, but dumb as fuck.
But with none of the literary mastery.
Yeah, exactly. It's just unbelievable. I mean, there's no substance there. How am I supposed to comment on that?
Oh shit! I think we got an ACB.
Okay.
God, I think I've witnessed the height of the millennial right here. You are literally reinverting reality by calling MAGA fascist and Trump a simple politician. It's sick. Did they pay you off yet?
I mean, dog.
Chris Morlock, I know that's you over there, and I am not impressed. I think it's very silly.
Good luck courting the frenzied petty bourgeoisie. Have fun with that. I'm good. I'm really good.
That'll be the rope that hangs you at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's okay. Just have fun with that. I don't know what to tell you. The frenzied petty bourgeoisie in this country is incredibly dangerous, filled with all kinds of libidinal problems, vigilante fantasies, vicious racism and xenophobia. I'm not trying to like honestly make my target those people. It's not my idea of a potentially emancipatory force. In fact, it's basically the worst class of people in the entire world. But
yeah, like the MAGA, like lumpen bourgeois,
just
like,
awful.
it's just this whole different it's this whole collection of different aggregations of just the scum of society.
Yeah, just antisocial, cruel, lacking
People
in
who want
all
to enslave
compassion.
whichever social group they have the most resentment towards to get
Yeah.
one up on them.
In fact, if you wanted to apply the whole like Nietzschean analysis of ressentiment, it should not be to the proletariat. It should be to the fucking 21st century frenzied petty bourgeoisie in middle
Exactly.
America.
Exactly.
You
Like, I'm
know?
sorry, but like people like Laura Loomer are like
Yeah.
more fascist than Trump is. Like,
Oh,
Trump is
God,
just a
yeah.
politician. He's just a businessman
The
who's trying to
dude-
grift off of these frenzied petite bourgeois who are freaking out about the decline of their class position. Like,
Yeah. Trump just likes being a pedophile and being rich and just having power. He'll say anything to be able to do that stuff, right? So he
yeah,
found his hogs. And in the past, I think he cynically said things like, "If I were to run, I would run as a Republican because they're dumb."
yeah. No, he would just as easily be a liberal
Oh
in
yeah.
a different situation.
Well, I mean, listen,
Well,
for
he
a long,
tried actually.
for,
He
no,
tried
for
to
a
win.
long time, he was just
Well, part of the reason why he ended up with the Republicans is because the liberal Democrats would continually spurn his attempts to run as a Democrat.
yeah. You know, and Kezi Squirrel, we were actually talking about this before we got live. Like, if you look at like the European fascists and their leadership, they're so often like a bunch of nerds, right? Like, they're like highly intellectual. Like Mussolini was like a highly intellectual person. He was not an idiot, right? He was strange and sometimes acted a buffoon, but overall, he was, especially compared to Trump, like someone of immense culture. And you look at like Serbian fascists, same thing, like all over Europe. In America, we have the typically anti-intellectual kind of fascisant leader, but no, he has no intellectual substance. What is scary is down the line a fascistic type leader who's like conscious of the class situation and is like very active in courting those elements and does have like a coherent worldview to sort of channel that frenzy. That's what's scary, is someone emerging like that. But fortunately, we have the long history of Americans just being super dumb and anti-intellectual working against that. So it's the one time it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it seems like more of an inverse of reality to say that Trump is like a dedicated ideological fascist who's
No,
just
he's not.
like, and MAGA are just like wholesome like Americans with like
Who are being duped by
who
this
are
like
being, like duped by this people. No, it's just that's not what's going on here. Like, there's
No,
a
it's
whole
not.
sea of MAGA grifters. You know, and listen, I'm not saying like, you know, there aren't legitimate grievances that MAGA people like prey on, but you know, they've distorted to the point where it's no longer legitimate. Like,
Well, I mean, there's legitimate grievances but then there's the proposal of imaginary solutions that are just based on basically race war.
Well, yeah, exactly. Their solution for affordability, for example, is mass deportation,
which is like economic nonsense.
Right.
Like, for example, MAGA
beyond
playing
being
out
a
right
moral.
now. Look at Chris Rufo, for example, who was one of the big culture war guys during the Biden years, built up his name going after critical race theory. The name is kind of, you know, fake liberal, like equal opportunity type thing. And you know, now he's basically calling on Trump to deport all Somalians from the country. Actually, like
Bro, who you calling beta, dog? Shut up.
it's just all they do. All they do is just, you know, is like, oh, you're just a beta male third campus, the urban menial.
Don't give me that.
Bro, I
It's
would wreck
such a
you.
lark. They think they're all like rural, like warriors. Like,
They think they're tough guys, but I would wreck you.
Yeah. We don't.
hard.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Disco Godfather. Go disco into the sunset. What can I tell you?
It's like, listen, I just disproved everything you had to say, and all you can do is just like your stupid crap. Like, hold on, let me give an example of what I mean by the MAGA dynamic. Rufo,
Yeah, the universe of MAGA grifters is. If you were just like an alien anthropologist, you'd be like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Like this Christopher Rufo guy, he is a pretty established guy.
Yeah, Marcus Antonius, exactly. It's very well put.
Hold on.
And also like exploits a lot of the sort of like the spiritual problems that are coming with capitalist alienation and all this economic instability, like the opiate crisis, right? Or drug crisis.
So he's calling on Trump. He calls on Trump cancel the temporary protected status program for Somalis in Minnesota, and so that they can start deporting them. Okay, and this is after Chris Rufo does some like fake journalism to like claim that like there's tons of Somalis in Minnesota who are like getting welfare from the state, and these are people who were here legally, by the way, and so he calls on Trump to their legal status so they can deport them, and so all the MAGA people are cheering for this, and here's Rufo cheering for it right here. We win. Somalis are stealing billions of dollars. The MAGA crowd cheers this on. These grifters cheer it on. They lobby the president.
Provide like any evidence for anything ever.
Yeah, but they get what they want. They get what they want, but then they say, just don't stop with the Somalis in Minnesota, Mr. President. Cancel the TPS and asylum statuses of every Somalian in America. Send them all back. And so it's not like Trump is the one fueling this fascist stuff. It's coming from the MAGA grifters, the middle tier MAGA grifters.
Yeah, he understands that he has to like give the hogs what they want, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, what is it? What else is there to say?
Yeah,
for people who are curious, we've done a more elaborate sort of discussion of the Trump phenomena in previous episodes, and
yeah, and I mean, talking about this right now just kind of reminds me why like it's hard to kind of stomach the Zoran standing with Trump and the ass kissing that happens.
Well, we don't know.
The guy is basically helping these chuds ethnically cleanse Somalians from the country right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's despicable.
But
that's word salad.
Camp urban reality. You sound like Wilhelm Reich or Weber talking about rural people. How can this lack of critical theory be so personal?
Well, Joseph and I come from the third world or rural backgrounds, and I'm just gonna say this: I got out the desert, bro. I got out the desert, and I'm happy. I'm not going back, man.
Bro, the idiocy of country life.
Yeah, I love the people there. They're very nice, but I'm good, bro. I don't want to go back there.
Yeah. Listen, modernity is not bad. You can embrace modernity.
Yo, if I have to live in Msila, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself.
And Wilhelm Reich, listen, I'm not gonna co-sign everything he said, but he had a lot of
hell no, organs and shit. I'm good.
Bro, I'm not gonna listen. He went a little crazy with the orgone stuff, but before then, when he was more Marxist, I think he had.
So my stepdad grew up like on hippie communes, and like they had the orgone boxes, and they had to just like sit in a box and like collect energy and stuff.
That's pretty sick.
Got an orgone accumulator.
Yeah, but it is like what was like Mamdani? What like given the constraints that Mamdani's under, what would let's talk amongst ourselves and with our crowd who have a particular orientation. What would be the ideal way to approach it?
I got an idea. I mean, he should have basically, maybe this might be fantastical with me, but he should have approached it the same way sort of Trotsky approached the negotiations with Germany. He should have just released, publicized everything that was.
This is a dangerous precedent that's already been set within the Mamdani campus. They have lots of closed door meetings, and
that needs to stop. Like
that needs to stop.
That needs to end.
That needs to stop.
To report everything that's going on.
Yeah, I agree. And the ruling class should be absolutely aware that anything they say is under scrutiny.
But I think there's precedent in our movement about what to do. Publicize everything. No secret treaties, no secret protocols. Everything should be done in the open light of day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The level of secrecy that's been going on, the way it's like justified within DSA, is just really
It's no
getting.
good. No bueno.
What's
I
serving
think
a
it's not-
particular form of politics, right?
Yeah, no, it's totally against our particular form of politics. We're
Yeah,
not talking about like military strategy here, okay? Like,
yeah. But he should be much more transparent because he's there because
Disco
of
Godfather. I'm sorry, but
Let's
please go get help.
Take
Take your meds, please.
my dog.
yeah, we're ignoring him from now on, but yeah,
Yeah,
just let him
my dog.
emerge out.
Thank you for watching our stream. I appreciate it, but we're just listen and you can criticize later. What was I
Read it
saying?
later on Twitter.
Yeah, you can shit on us. Shit, I was saying something. Yeah, I mean, Mamdani's also there. He's not just there by the graces of his beautiful smile and whatever, right? He's also there because people put him there, and he has a responsibility as a leader to be, especially the kind of leader that he's aspiring to be transparent about his dealings with and kind of seeing the secrecy. It's not good. It's deeply inegalitarian, right? Because it's you're quote unquote conspiring like members of the ruling class, right? So I don't, I really don't appreciate it. He should be at a minimum transparent about what was said in the meeting, even if we don't necessarily like everything he says.
Right. I think the reason why, like, there is precedent, but I don't think it will happen. Could risk the affordability agenda. Exactly. That's the thing is Zoran is basically doing
he has a nice smile
footsie with Trump because he
He's
has a mandate from his voters to deliver on the agenda he was voted on.
Yeah, listen, I know that's certainly is kind of how Americans see politicians, right? Which is that it's once again everything is subsumed under the commodity form, and you're buying
all about cheaper treats, and socialism in this case is being sold as we can make New York City more affordable for you, which is like obviously like any kind of socialist platform in New York City is going to have to like deliver on affordability.
But once again, he has to just be like, he has to just be clear and what's the quote by it? 1 second, I need to. In the meantime, the first characteristic of a really revolutionary party is to be able to look reality in the face. And not just that, if I could add to that, communicate to the masses or to your supporters that reality. And it doesn't help anyone if he doesn't communicate the strictures he's under, and then he has all his shit sabotaged by the ruling class. And then the ruling class can turn around and say, look, he fucked up. But if Zoran had been very clear, listen, they're going to oppose everything I do. They're going to sabotage everything I do, even if I compromise on this and this and this. People will be aware. They'll be like, okay, well, then he's not the one to blame. He wants to get these things through. He's being prevented by certain forces. So it doesn't, this lack of just transparency, I really don't like it. As a minimum, I think that every leader in his position should have like a morning AMLO style chat with his supporters. This is what's happening. This is what I need to do. This is what you need to do, et cetera, et cetera. This is where we're at. And I don't know. It's just kind of shaping up to be just another fucking American politician. We can do better. In the future, we need to do better.
We can definitely do better. And that's why I think it's important that we are critical of Zoran. And I don't think that a lot of the ultra left, like, the stuff just like saying he's a Zionist. I don't think he's a Zionist. I think he's made some unfortunate like concessions, but I don't think it's out of his Zionism. I think it's just because he's trying to do a popular front. I don't think he's I
think you're over intellectualizing his approach here. Pop front, united front. I don't think he has any of that in mind. I think it's very simple. Make whatever.
Maybe not him personally, but I can tell you for a fact that the leadership of New York City DSA thinks of it in pop front terms.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I think that's if he's not how that's not maybe that's not how he personally thinks of it, but like that's how DSA thinks of it.
You know, and I would say, Antonius, don't make promises you cannot fulfill. I would say make promises, but be very clear about why you can't fulfill them if they're not fulfilled, right? Lay the blame on the correct actors. Because if it was up to him and he had a compliant state legislature, blah, 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 you know, an executive that was actually working for him, a New York executive or state executive that was actually working for him, he could get it through, right? But it's not up to him. So, but yeah, it's in the future we have to do better. We have to have it as a minimum if we are going to occupy state power in a non-revolutionary situation. We have to be as transparent as possible every step of the way.
Yeah.
And this
We are basically just doing Euro communism here.
Yeah, I don't even think that I don't think it would be feasible for him to turn down a White House visit, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree.
Trump is a
I think in this situation,
he's a petty motherfucker.
he's making a lot of threats that basically would destroy his ability to deliver on any promises. Not only deliver on his promises, but just like deliver on like making New York City like a livable place.
Yeah.
So he basically is like, I have to go and see what I can do to like avert catastrophe. And so he did what he had to do. I'm not judging him for that. You know, if he made secret deals with Trump that involve things that I find to be red lines, I would find that to be unacceptable. The biggest problem I have with Zoran right now is the Tish stuff, to be honest. Like that's the shit where I'm just like, imagine the students who had their heads cracked by the cops during the student intifada.
And they voted for you, and they
voted for you, and how much of a betrayal.
No, and some of them probably like staffed, like did the groundwork.
Like you Zoran are someone who's come out of the Palestine movement. Like you've been in the streets with these kids. You know, you've been organizing with them for years. You face them against these cops, and now you're basically appointing the same police commissioner that was on the other side of the barricades as you.
Yeah, and he had a less than impressive answer when being interviewed by Will Menaker that
it was all Eric Adams.
It was all Eric Adams. Whatever.
That was basically his way of doing it.
It's the fucking Tish family. Anyone who's from or knows anything about New York knows what the Tish family is. Okay, it's a dynasty, right?
Yeah, and it's very normal for a new mayor to appoint a new police commissioner. Like that's not like some crazy like revolutionary thing to like put a new police commissioner in.
So the Tish family has, according to Forbes, $10 billion. And Jonathan Tish donated $1.3 million to anti-Mamdani groups. So
this is basically Allende putting Pinochet in the power,
or someone that really likes Pinochet. Yeah, it's.
I gotta credit that joke to Sean McCarthy, but it's dead on. H. Rap Brown died. I'm not super familiar with H. Rap Brown, but I do know who he was, and it's important Black Power activist and writer. So thanks for bringing that up.
Jamil El-Amin. Yeah. Allah yarhamah.
Hold on. Somebody said something about the ICE thing here. Mamdani says he plans to keep ICE officers accountable to law, and if Tish doesn't break ranks, that will going to lead to clashes between ICE and NYPD or de facto collaboration.
Listen, hey, Antonius, it's not just a soccer team, it's a football team, and it's Arsenal. And go Arsenal. You're speaking to an Arsenal fan. Don't shit on Arsenal. Don't ever speak ill of Arsenal.
Oh God, you got him going.
No, here comes the sports talk. Here comes the sports talk.
He's an Arsenal. I feel like everyone in the East Coast is an Arsenal fan. I don't really know why. For me, it's because of the French thing. I don't know what his fucking excuse is.
But yeah, so I think we should segue. First of all, before we do that, though, I want to play the funniest moment of.
Oh God, this one, yeah.
This is so funny. You know exactly what I'm talking.
You're gonna have to see it again, comrade. Sorry.
Yeah, this is
clarify your answer to Stephen Wilson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about.
That's okay. You can just say
Okay,
yes.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier. It's,
Yes.
it's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And Mr. President, clarify
This guy.
I'm so sad that he's so funny.
Yeah, he's so funny, bro. He's
Yeah, no, it really does suck that like the modern day
Oh, man.
Mussolini is like really fucking funny.
If he were on our side, we'd be living under socialism already.
Because that's what actually what Lenin said about Mussolini. Kind of, he said if Mussolini didn't, wasn't a turncoat, Italy would be a
Yeah.
Soviet republic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the reason that Trump got one of the big reasons that Trump got elected is because he does have like a certain kind of charisma. He's funny, like sometimes deliberately, sometimes because he's a fucking idiot, but he's he's funny, man. Like, and you look at all the other politicians and they're just like lifeless fucking they're just a lifeless. They just have no spirit, no elan, no wit. It was so easy to run circles around these fucking people if you have money.
But it's just like, yes, Trump is a fascist, but we're gonna work together on the affordability agenda.
Before we move on from Zoran, we should address one person on the chat who said that if we spoke about his endorsement of Jeffries.
Well, we're gonna speak about DSA shenanigans, aren't we? Gonna pivot to
Yes,
that?
let's talk about
It's a good segue.
and Chiasi and the DSA.
Yeah, it's a good segue.
Because this is the big controversy that's going on in DSA. I've got people who aren't as plugged into this stuff, telling me like, dude, what's going on with Zoran? Like, why is he selling out and like not supporting this guy who wants to run against Hakeem Jeffries? Like, this is whack, And I gotta say, my initial reaction is to say that this guy Chiasi, who is running for the seat of Hakeem Jeffries, I don't really trust him. But at the same time, Zoran's argument seems to be looking like, kind of like he's protecting Hakeem Jeffries in a way. Like he's basically saying, like, let's not shake things up too much right now because I want to focus on this affordability agenda.
Deepak Shakur.
I'm not. I think we don't want to shake things up because we need basically he's saying we need Hakeem Jeffries' support to like get these reforms passed. And
if you need Hakeem Jeffries' support, you're fucked.
So anyway, that's the kind of layout of what's going on here. There's this guy Chiasi, and maybe we should first like give some background info on who this guy is.
Yeah, explain this guy to me because I don't know much about him, to be honest. What's his deal?
I know a little. I don't know that much about him. I know a bit about him.
There was a Mog article actually about why we shouldn't support him. That's pretty good. That has some good info on him.
Okay, well, maybe bring it up.
I'll bring it up.
Give us a rundown. But maybe, Carlos, if you can begin to elucidate or begin to.
He's I believe, a city council. He's on New York City Council. He was a DSA member for like 1 minute, like 4 or 5 years ago. He sought our endorsement, didn't get it, and then quit the org. And then in the ensuing time period, has been publicly critical of DSA, going as far as to call, DSA people gentrifiers. Has sort of YIMBY leanings in housing policy. He's not, in my estimation, like a reliable socialist whatsoever. But he's recently come around to the org because he seems to have the idea that he's going to be able to beat Hakeem Jeffries. No doubt because of, Zoran winning and he sees the opportunity. But he's, approached the org to back him for doing so. He's actually hired a bunch of influencers to tip the scales within the DSA. To do that.
Because it seems like there's a lot of people in DSA who are really all about this guy. but their golden boy Zoran isn't about this guy. So there's like a divide within the DSA right around this guy, which I find very interesting.
There's a divide on the left too. I mean,
Yeah, within the DSA left as well. But so you mentioned that, so he left DSA after not getting an endorsement, is what you said. I thought he left DSA over October 7th, is what I had heard.
no, I'm pretty sure he left DSA well before October 7th. But yeah, fact check me because I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe he went to the press and like shat on DSA after
That's
October
probably
7th.
what happened. But he's shot on us quite, a number of times at this point.
Because I do know there was like some controversy around like October 7th and DSA and him. But so yeah, he was calling DSA people, but he's a YIMBY.
Yeah.
But isn't like YIMBYism like all about gentrification? Because it's about giving property developers more leeway to develop. So
I think you're ascribing too much coherence to this guy. Like I don't think he's thinking about it.
I mean,
I think it's just, DSA, at least in New York, suffers from a problem wherein demographically they're composed mostly of downwardly mobile sort of professionals, and
it's made of white PMCs.
Right, essentially, for the most part, and very visibly so. So it becomes a very popular attack angle against DSA to call them gentrifiers or like, a white org, etc. Like an org that's somehow like alien to New York City and, like the people that live there and their concerns.
Yeah, well, and now he seems to think that New York City needs DSA more than ever, and DSA needs him more than ever. So that's
I think he needs us to knock doors for him. That's what he needs.
Yeah. So
he's a consummate opportunist.
It sounds like opportunist. Like he's like uses all the classic id Paul opportunism.
Yeah, no, that's highly. No, he not only is it just you can't have. It's beyond like being unreliable. Like he could do damage to the org. He could turn people in the org. He could be a wrecker, basically, right? Like a bad one. Yeah, you don't need that.
Right. Hold on. Somebody asked what YIMBY stands for. Everything I see on Twitter is a bunch of cucks fornicating with early 20th century Chicago architecture. Okay, so YIMBY is a response to NIMBY, which is not in my backyard, which was basically this movement of homeowners. It was called the slow growth movement, and it was basically like petit bourgeois homeowners who wanted to prevent development, specifically, especially of like low income housing near their own like neighborhoods. It was a really big thing, and it often like masked itself in like environmental and like new left language. But it was really about like homeowners like maintaining the property values of their homes, often with a very racial aspect of it. By like keeping like poor people, especially poor brown and black people, out of their neighborhoods by building, developing and stuff. And so a kind of a new movement kind of develops in opposition to it called YIMBYism, which is yes in my backyard, which is like the negation of NIMBYism, but it's just as stupid, which is basically like a front for developers, which is basically saying that like any kind of like regulations that limit the ability of us to build more housing or build more stuff basically are like the main problem. And then the main thing, like keeping housing prices from being too high and keeping people from being able to afford housing. And so the key to like addressing the housing question should be upzoning and basically getting rid of zoning regulations and height regulations, and even like some will go as far as like safety regulations, environmental regulations that prevent us from building more housing and keeping developers from being able to invest. And the obvious problem with this theory is that it's basically just giving the market leeway to do as it see fits, which doesn't guarantee that affordable and safe and good housing election. And so what it does is it creates this false binary where you're either a NIMBY or a YIMBY or a NIMBY. Any kind of like scientific socialist question is like completely left out of the conversation. So yeah, that's my short little pitch on the NIMBY YIMBY binary.
I just want to clarify real quick. The reason why I refer to Chiose as a YIMBY is because he voted yes on legislation here in New York City Council to essentially drastically ease zoning to allow people to develop much easier, much faster. So straightforwardly, that's a YIMBY,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about this debate is so boring to me. I know it's
well, it is very important, man. I mean, like housing is like one of the biggest like issues for the
no. Obviously, housing is
like this is like the one thing like every working class person like complains about is like the price.
Well, I mean, I live with my rent because everything is too expensive. So I mean, I'm definitely housing is fucked and we need to improve. But I'm just saying, like, the whole way it's posed.
No, it's this thing. The way it's posed is literally a psyop. It's literally a psyop from property developers. If the way that because they control the way that this debate is framed in the public media. We're not talking about actual socialist solutions. We're just talking about like how do we
the unspoken god is the market, right?
Yeah, that's unspoken god.
Like the only thing that's not brought into question in the debate.
It's like, do you support like petit bourgeois racists, or do you support like these developers who don't give a shit about actually helping people?
And just building the same horrible Lego-looking fucking house in Brooklyn or whatever.
And yes, Ezra Klein's abundance is basically like YIMBYism turned
elevated to a world
ideology.
It's a rebranding.
It's like elevated to a Weltanschauung.
Yeah. We actually did an earlier episode where we reviewed abundance. So I recommend going back.
Abundance generally is just like repackaging neoliberal nostrums.
Yeah.
It's like if you took like Marx's like incredible reflections on communist abundance and just made it boring as fuck and like a bad Philip K. Dick novel,
Yeah,
just like
it sucks because like it kind of has ruined the word abundance, right? Like, because abundance itself is not like a bad thing. Like, we want like abundance.
Yeah. I mean, there's even arguments that Marx's vision of communism is predicated on a condition of abundance.
No, I think it is. Yeah, no, I don't think there's a doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fascinating question, like kind of quote unquote reevaluating.
Yeah, it does need to be thought about critically in the question of environmental concerns,
ecological limits.
But there's no doubt that communism, as Marx considered it, Marx's ideal of communism is predicated on an abundance of material production where people are able to freely take what they need.
Yeah, exactly. From the common store.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no doubt about that. Which is why the development of the forces of production is like so important for communists historically.
That's why it's a necessary condition. I mean, it has kind of ruined that word, and degrowth has also made it very difficult to sort of elevate that as an ideal as well, right? From the left.
So I think that's we don't want to get too off track here, but that is a topic I think we should talk about more in the future and discuss.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I want to think more critically.
So anyway, Chiose, let me bring up the
bring up this article.
Is it Chiose or Chiose? I don't
Chiose. Yeah, I don't want to.
I'm not sure what it is, honestly. That's what I'm asking.
Let's see. So, why we should not endorse Chiose? There's no compelling reason. He's not a socialist. Is the first reason.
He is a big reason.
So I mean, maybe he's calling himself a socialist now, but
yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay, so he's an opportunist.
We know.
So this is one thing that I thought was interesting was during the George Floyd uprising, he and a clique of models and influencers donned black berets, called themselves warriors in the garden, and sought out attention at every turn, few political principles to guide them. So I need to find out more about it. I want to find more out about this.
Wait.
I remember this vaguely.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember this.
He was like bouncing around all of the George Floyd actions and just like hogging the mic.
Yeah. So There's all a bunch of stuff about this on the internet. Hold on. I just found some stuff. There was so much stupid stuff during the George Floyd uprising.
Yeah, that
he
was a
seems like
mass
a very-
delirium event, bro.
Okay, here he is. Here
like-
he is. So
Combat Jack? What?
Warriors. This is in 2020. Look how stylish he is. Like, he doesn't look like.
Yeah,
See, this is the thing. Like, he doesn't look like a real Black Panther. He looks like he's like got the designer bag and like designer.
No, dog,
clothes.
I'm not gonna lie. He's looking fly, man.
Yeah, he looks like he was dressed up by
Fresh.
some modeling agency, not like he's like a real revolutionary. And you know the.
Hey, listen, he can look good.
No, you're right. No, listen, I'm not trying to hate on the guy.
We're not, just because
That's
you're a
not my
revolutionary doesn't mean you need to look like a slob.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you look too good, almost like you're just being.
Well, yeah,
Nah,
modeled
come on.
as a
That's not worth.
revolutionary.
That's not even worth. Who cares? I don't care.
It's just weird.
anything, it
Okay, like.
Makes me like him more.
So I guess I don't know. Like I don't. This doesn't even.
What do you want him to be wearing? Fucking REI bullshit and looking like, no, man. Like it's fine. I like his look. That's not my issue with
He
him.
kind of looks like Curtis Siwa.
the beret really does it.
Yeah, it really
So he
does.
had a dad who was like a rapper, and so he had a political awakening. And I mean, and at one point, I kind of right. Maybe he was younger and he was kind of cringe, and maybe he's grown up politically since then. A lot can happen in like 40 years, So I wouldn't even hold this against him as much as other things.
Yeah, no, who cares? I mean, what really matters is like what he believes now, what his positions are, like how he's actually showed that he's fighting for them. That's really what I care more about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through it.
He's a YIMBY. He's a pro-developer, celebrity politician whose rhetoric co-opts the interests of language and working class tenants who obscure class conflict. So yeah, I guess he had a clash with the Crown Heights tenant union. They wanted to push this pro-developer rezoning of Atlantic Avenue against the union's demands, and she was getting real estate funding, and she was also going against other DSA candidates. And so, this is the thing is like, you got people who are running for DSA who are backing people who are funding people who are running for DSA. I mean, it's just running against people who are funding people. It's just so ridiculous.
Bro, a bunch of like influencers joined DSA to try to influence the endorsement vote. That left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yeah, so leveraging special connections and social media influence does not make for socialist politics.
Yeah.
So I feel obviously the YIMBY stuff, like I don't like YIMBYism being part of socialist politics. I would actually support purging people who are part of like actual like YIMBY groups from the DSA. Because of them, I see them as actual organized like advocates of the ruling class.
Well, they're organized elements of capital.
Yeah, exactly. They're just organized like advocates for factions of the ruling class. Like they're
Okay.
not purging people for political differences, but for like literally representing like an alien class. So yeah. Leveraging special connections and social media influences I make for socialist politics. I did not know when I read this that a bunch of influencers joined in order to push this guy, but that makes a lot more sense now.
That's cringe.
That is really
It was
cringe.
pretty cringe. You should have seen the videos.
It is an influencer.
Wait, can you pull one up?
I have to find it, but I got served
You
one.
gotta find this, dude. You gotta find this video.
I got served
You
one
got
on TikTok. I think because the algorithm identified that I was a DSA
Yo.
member.
Carlos, you gotta find it.
Yeah,
Go
Let me see if I
search
can
right
find
now.
it.
Please search. I want to see some
Yeah.
hype beat.
The whole influencer thing is so weird. It's like you get a bunch of followers on social media, and now that's like, I don't know, that's like you're a new thing. Like,
Bro, that's socialism right there.
so, and he's good friends with some particularly well-positioned members of our chapter. So that's interesting. So he's basically got some friends in high places in DSA, and they're pushing hard for him. But Zoran's not feeling it because He's got to work with Hakeem Jeffries right now.
Yeah, that's the wrong reason.
It's the wrong reason. I know. It puts us in a really tough spot
It's
because
very weird, but he's right for the wrong
I
reasons,
know,
which makes him wrong. So you can be clear on that, right?
right. I think it's important to be clear on this,
Guys. I think I found
Zoran
it.
is wrong.
Yo,
But
he found it, dude.
I think I found the
he's
video.
right for the wrong reasons.
Just give me a second, all right?
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Do it.
Someone says Aussie is far from model socialist candidate, but frankly, I don't really think there should be a strategic question backing him against the George Wallace of Zionism.
See, that's a fair point, but
listen, I would vote for him. The question is, like, does DSA want to actually throw down for him with all that entails? That's the thing. Hold on. Oh wait, it says video currently unavailable.
Oh, I think they took it down.
that's
They took it down.
it was that cringe, bro.
It was cringe.
Oh man, I want some of that cringe.
Someone's got to have it archived though.
Yeah, come on. Find some other cringe, bro.
Yeah,
Go
I
for
think they took it down. It's because they got a lot of heat for it.
Oh, really?
They got a ton of heat for it.
People are probably like, this sucks.
He's been posting really hard on Twitter, being like DSA forever, DSA, come on, support me.
I mean, just to address this, backing him against Jeffries, no one thinks he can win. He doesn't
That's
have
the
much
problem,
of a chance.
yeah.
And if
Well, no one thought Zoran could win either, to be fair. But I guess.
but this is different in the sense that
Does he have?
just real quick, this is different in the sense that Zoran at least proved himself to be a reliable, DSA member and cadre for years. He's organized with us. Chiose is a Johnny come lately, who's using us to pump and dump. I think that's very different. And if DSA, I would imagine if DSA were to lose against Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic Party could then turn around and say, well, you see, Zoran's a fluke. This is a flash in the pan. It would be used to our detriment.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is an appeal to just kind of throwing everything we can at the Zayas as possible. Not that I'm not saying I agree with that appeal to it. I just think it's
but it's not an opportunist.
It's kind of populist.
There's gotta be a cadre member you could run.
Yeah, there's got to be someone we could run against Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah, come on, we've got.
But the problem is Zoran doesn't want that.
Well, I feel like I don't care what Zoran wants in that instance.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the thing. It's we don't care.
Yeah, it should be up to us. I mean, not us three,
right?
But, the organization.
The organization.
Yeah,
we should take his advice into consideration, of course, but we should also be very critical of it and interrogate his motivations as well.
Yeah, it's not like even flat. It's not even like Lenin. It just expected everyone to fall into line. He had to threaten to quit.
Yeah, he would love to threaten to quit whenever he didn't think the vote was going to go his way.
Which is some bully shit. But, it does show that it wasn't an.
If you don't sign Brest-Litovsk, I'm going to quit.
Yeah. Why does he sound like Bernie Sanders, bro?
I don't know what Lenin sounds like.
Hold on.
So yeah, I mean, this guy seems like he kind of sucks. And
so I guess the electoral working group voted against endorsement, according to
wow.
Yeah, they did.
Wow, they're covering us now. Damn.
Well, the DSA doesn't want them to. I guess is the thing.
How are you going to stop them?
I don't know, because I guess there was a kerfuffle over the endorsement forum or whatever. People were leaking the endorsement forum to people in the press, and people were
but who cares? Why is that an issue?
I know. Listen, it goes back to the smoke and mirrors secrecy bullshit that we were talking.
I really think these people imagine themselves as some sort of machine. The alternative, the bench team of the Democratic Party. They're like, well, we gotta be secretive in all of this. It's ridiculous. The whole point of this is to come up with a new form of politics, not to reproduce the same bourgeois bullshit.
Yeah, just stop with this fucking. I agree, man.
So yeah, 52% of participating members were against. That's pretty close, actually. But Aussie said, "I'm not going anywhere." You know, he's still in it. So maybe he'll stay in the game and he'll become a disciplined, cadre.
Hey, if he sticks around and builds, builds trust and organizes with DSA, and if he wants to run for another race in the future, I would seriously consider backing him. But like at this point in time, I do not really trust him.
No, me neither.
Here, let's see what he said.
This is amazing. I'm so happy. The left has strength. The left has power. We are setting forward a vision for how to lead the city, this country, and Zoran Mamdani and his team are at the helm.
What point do you feel most vindicated on today?
Social media can move people.
No.
Thank you so much.
See, that's not the takeaways we want to be having from this stuff.
That's some lame shit.
He's such a creature of social media.
I know.
Yeah,
see, that's just not like. Is that really what we want to be like learning from Zoran? Is like, yeah, social media can really win.
Hell yeah, man! If your fonts are good, you're gonna win.
It's like
that's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we need to be good at social media. We need to be like good with this stuff, but that's not the end all be all. Okay.
No, it's really not.
We need a cadre bench of influencers.
You're not gonna. we need socialist. What do they call them? TikTok hype houses.
Yeah.
We need an influencer house in Midtown.
We need the thirst post, bro. Just sexy socialist posting all the time, man. That's how you get socialism. Yeah, we're fucked. That guy's not good.
Yeah, he needs to.
Maybe someone else will
win our trust. He needs to build, the trust of the socialist movement, because I don't trust him right now. I don't trust that Graham Plattner guy either. You know who I'm talking about? The
Was he at a Maine?
Blackwater,
sucks,
Blackwater guy.
Yeah, he fucking sucks, man.
The one with the Ustazi tattoo.
Yeah, he has like Nazi tattoos.
Like,
yeah, that's not good.
That whole.
I mean, the thing that really should. Well, I mean, that Nazi tattoos is pretty fucked. I mean, this is totally fucked. But just the fact that he was a mercenary in Blackwater, that's enough for me.
I know.
The dude most likely has committed war crimes, and if he hasn't, has associated with people who commit war crimes.
Well,
so I'm good.
You gotta wonder though, like where did this guy come from? How is he suddenly emerging as a candidate of the left?
I don't even know, man. It's fucking
like it reminds me a little bit of John Fetterman, because John Fetterman had the same kind of thing where he kind of came out of nowhere and suddenly he was like a darling of the left. I think even Jacobin wrote about him, supporting him, and then he completely fucking sucks. So where is this guy coming from?
That's another thing, is like, this is something people don't understand, is that it doesn't necessarily help us to just endorse whatever Johnny come lately, quote unquote, left fucking figure. John Fetterman is universally despised. Does not help in any way for us to have our, like, what does it say about our judgment if we just, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to look at that at some point, like, what the fuck what were you smoking?
He might need another stroke to recalibrate him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hope. I just get him out of here. Get that guy out of here. He's a freak.
Hold on. Here's
Wait, which one?
Plattner, probably. He's probably referring to Plattner.
Yeah,
so here's what Zoran said about the Hakeem Jeffries stuff.
Democrats, it's hillbilly elegy.
Midterms, do you want to see Leader Jeffries become the Speaker of the House?
Yes.
Okay, that was a firm, quick answer. So you leave plenty of time for my final answer.
Let me go back and give a little more.
Look,
so he just said straight up yes. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Bro,
this is the logic of capitulation.
Yeah,
the levels of fake in that interaction just literally hurt my soul.
Yeah, it is also fake. That's another thing that gets me is like obviously, Zoran doesn't like Hakeem Jeffries. He's not happy with Hakeem Jeffries.
I could never ever be a politician. I'm way too much of a dick. I would just be like, you are a sniveling moron. I have nothing to say to you. Like, I really would be the worst politician in the world, I think.
At some point, hopefully, it's gonna be viable to elect people like that.
People who don't lie. Is it ever
people who
going to be
don't lie
possible
play
to
that
not
game.
have to lie like this?
Bro, that's why I like Mélenchon. I mean, okay, he has moments where he says some shit and some bullshit.
He's a
That's
boomer,
clearly
but
But it's not because he's
But
lying.
no, but
it's
like,
just because he's wrong.
yeah. But sometimes he does take like opportunistic positions.
Yeah, I
and
can
whatnot,
believe that. I don't
but-
know enough about him.
But there's so many moments where he's just like this, like curmudgeon. Like, what are you talking about? Stop talking. Yeah. Anyways, it was just so fake. That was the fakest shit I've seen in a while. Yeah.
And the body language did suggest it was insincere.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess it's enough about Chiosi.
yeah, that's enough about Chiosi. I think I think we made clear our reasons for being skeptical of him and our reasons for having a but also,
Guys, if there's one thing we learned about the Russian Revolution, it's that social media can move people.
The number one lesson of the Bolsheviks.
There's one thing you can learn about Pinochet overthrowing Allende. It's that social media can move people. Hell yeah. Knowledge.
A lesson he took to heart when he
Instagram.
tried to steal the endorsement vote.
Hey, listen, if Allende had Instagram, he would have been able to just like build up an army to stop Pinochet spontaneously.
Bro.
Should have built up the influencer army, Allende.
I know he would have had an influencer army of TikTokers who could have stopped that from happening.
What are you gonna do? Throw them at the tanks that are fucking storming the palace? What are they gonna do?
just do a hot
People
take.
driving the tanks would have seen epic like socialist TikToks that would have stopped them from from cooing him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not it's what a cringe statement. I would just throw myself off the Empire State Building if you caught me saying something like that. That would be it for me. Just retire me, guys. Like of Mice and Men. Just look at the ducks.
Just look at the wabbits.
Yeah, look at the wabbits. Oh god. Yeah. We shouldn't fuck with this guy at all. I mean, vote for him. Okay, great.
Whatever. Yeah, listen, I'll vote for it pretty much anyone against Hakeem Jeffries at this point.
It would take, you'd have to like get a real ghoul up in front of Jeffries for me to vote.
Hey, if he sticks around, I might change my mind about him.
You know what? This is the real end goal of the Russian Civil War, is to create an influencer army of Twitter morons. This is actually the theory of Haas and MAGA communism and the ACP, unironically though. Like this is what they read like Lenin and Stalin and stuff, and read like Bolshevik theory, and this is like what they take from it. It's like we have to create an army of like influencer morons on Twitter.
That just say word salad. Yeah, it's interesting.
That was pretty funny. That guy was coming at us earlier. Anyway, so do we want to talk a little bit about the economic forecast and what's going on?
Yeah, I can provide an update on that.
Yeah, I think Carlos is the one who knows the most.
Okay. I guess we should start to talk about AI, because that's been the big anxiety and fear in the capitalist class lately. The narrative within, the business press or whatever, and even, why broader than that, is that everyone thinks that AI is a bubble. Everybody thinks it's a speculative bubble, but it's at this point is comprising the bulk of our economic activity at this point. I pulled up some. Let me pull up some statistics here. But essentially, there's a lot of anxiety about AI And what lies at the heart of it is essentially a couple of companies, OpenAI, which produces ChatGPT, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with at this point, and NVIDIA, which produces the GPUs, or like the chips that the AI models actually run on. And so essentially, NVIDIA is the only producer of these chips. They're the only ones that make like the top line chips that these AI companies need to run their models. And essentially, the bulk of the demand for these chips come from a handful of, like companies like OpenAI, Oracle, which produces data centers that these models actually run on, Microsoft, which also produces data centers, but also partly owns OpenAI. And the entire anxiety here is that they're basically like the same amount of money is being sloshed around these like 4 or 5 different companies.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're making deals between each other where, for example, OpenAI will buy $300 billion of, as an example, $300 billion of NVIDIA chips, and they'll pay for it with OpenAI stock. And then, NVIDIA will turn around and then use the proceeds from that sale to invest in Oracle or something. And if you look at a chart of essentially the circular funding of the AI industry, it's the same $500 billion being shared between all of these different companies.
Yeah, it's a joke.
The actual cash commits for $500-600 billion of AI spending is only represented by about $200-300 billion actual money, right? Like actual cash that's being traded. The rest of it is sort of equity that's being, like the deals that they're making between each other for equity. The other thing here is that OpenAI has committed to spending $1.5 trillion in building new AI data centers in the next, which is an astronomical amount, but also they don't make any money. They don't make any profit. So they're committing to spend a 1.5 trillion. This represents future demand for AI chips and AI data centers or whatever, but there's no corresponding revenue. So they're basically asking the private sector to invest the money, to make it happen, the $1.5 trillion. The issue is that there's not $1.5 trillion in the public sector to actually fund this. So now OpenAI is sort of beating around the bush about a government backstop. Their CFO has been going to the media and basically floating the idea of the government providing either the government directly building data centers, which they will then, lease to, these AI companies, or to provide a backstop wherein they'll guarantee the loans that OpenAI will take out to build these data centers.
They have no business model. It's incredible.
Yeah, they have no business model. They make very little money. No one is actually paying for ChatGPT.
And even if they do, you can't guarantee that they use a certain amount of compute time.
I mean, it's just not profitable. There's no margins on subscriptions. You can't get people to buy subscriptions and make up for like that. There's no real business model that they can leverage enterprise, companies that buy OpenAI stuff. They haven't figured that out yet. And they don't seem to be interested in figuring it out anytime soon. What they seem to be worried about is acquiring the funding to build data centers. And that's really been the driver of the AI bubble. It's been NVIDIA, the strong demand for NVIDIA chips, and the data centers that are built by like Oracle and such that they're leasing out to these people. The actual AI models do not produce any profit. So The Economist magazine estimated that if the stock market crashed because of, for example, NVIDIA reports bad earnings, potentially 8% of household wealth in the entire country could disappear because something like 30% of the US households are invested in the stock market. So that would mean essentially that consumption would be cut by $500 billion. That's austerity. Like they would have to fund that gap somehow, and that would have to come out of public spending. So like aside from that, just to provide like aside from AI being a ticking time bomb, the other part to this is that the unemployment rate is basically the highest it's been since 2001, at the height of COVID, essentially, when COVID wiped out supply chains and threw millions of people into unemployment. So unemployment is creeping up, and at least from the standpoint of financial markets, liquidity is drying up for banks. What that means is that banks are finding it harder and harder and more expensive to actually fund their operations. And the reason why you should give a shit about that is not because we like banks, but because it's sort of like a cascading effect. If for some reason some big bank decides, well, we can't cover our collateral today, then what's going to happen is essentially a cascading failure of banks, failing to cover, and then the government's going to have to step in and cover the shortfall somehow, just like they did in 2008 and 9, which means politically austerity will become the political agenda.
Got an interesting question in the chat, which is
this kind of circular financialization. I'm sure. I wonder if there wasn't something similar with railways.
Yeah, that's
oil.
a good point.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that more.
Yeah, it's a good question. How historically, because I feel like the COVID situation was kind of historically unprecedented.
But yeah, this kind of circular financial. I mean, it would be interesting to look into how heavy industry developed in the U.S., including steel and railways and oil, because they're obviously very much interlinked, right?
The analogy that everyone's sort of making is the .com bubble of the 2000s, and in the height of the .com bubble, they built a ton of like fiber optic infrastructure, like, in anticipation of like, well, more people are going to join the internet, we're going to be able to, commercialize all of this infrastructure. It turns out that 98% of the fiber optic that was laid during the .com bubble has never been used to this day. It's still dark. So we're seeing something very similar with AI compute, where they're building a shit ton of AI compute, and they plan to build an ever more shit ton, but it's not entirely clear that there's going to be demand on the other side of that.
Yeah. The Chinese have started to implement legislation regulating AI. I wonder how that looks. I was reading about it in Science today, but I need to. I saw it in Science.
And then there's also someone asking how it compares to the early 2000s housing bubble, which is
I think this is probably going to be worse, in the sense that there's way more leverage. I just explained they want to spend a $1.5 trillion to build new data centers, and way more of the U.S. sort of economy, or like the households in the U.S. economy, are invested in the stock market now. They're exposed to like any stock market crash that would result from an AI bubble popping. So I would say it's worse. Like I can't give you actual figures in terms of how the two compare, but just from what I understand, it would be far, far worse for the everyday sort of person if this were to pop. It would mean like a drastic austerity.
Well, the fact of the matter is we already have huge unemployment numbers, and we're cutting SNAP, which is already, I'm sure we already know people who lost their food stamps and are struggling because of that. And I can't imagine that the economic situation already is pretty horrible, it seems, and the government seems to only be doing things to make it worse as it is. So I just can't imagine like another crisis
I mean, let's
anything
be
other than
honest.
just a breakdown in social reproduction. Like,
I mean, let's be honest. We can probably expect a recession in the next year.
yeah, like I mean,
and it will be more comparable to like 2008, 2009 than anything else, I would imagine.
well, it seems like based on what Joseph is saying, it's going to be worse.
Could be. Well, we'll see. I mean,
It could be, but
2008 was really bad.
I think what complicates this here is that OpenAI is sort of coming out trying to get a government guarantee. And I think that the government will, I think if it comes to that, the government will give it to them.
I think they're going to acquiesce.
Like AI represents an enormous part of the U.S. stock market today. It's something like It's
I mean, where is Nvidia at in the
$4.5 trillion market? It's the largest company in the planet.
Yeah,
it's enormous.
It's enormous.
Well, AI is promising to completely revolutionize the forces of production as we know them, and to throw us into a completely new era of society. There's
good luck with that.
There's a lot of promise of AI, and there's the promise of profitability for companies, that it's going to help them reduce labor cost. And
1875, you're most likely right. That's what the compute will be used for. But like my physics brain is like, dude, we could crank so much shit with that. And we could simulate crazy quantum systems.
And that isn't to say that
we could do hyper precise calculations of the mass of the proton and the neutron. Oh man, that'd be sick.
I think it's important to mention that this technology can be immensely useful to us if it's used for useful ends, if it's used for socially useful ends.
People like I always hear people shitting on AI and how useless it is, but as someone who does a lot of mathematics, a lot of coding, I can tell you it can be really fucking useful.
Nobody in STEM says AI is useless, okay? Nobody says that is in STEM. Not to say they like AI and are just like uncritical AI boosters, but like they realize
I'm not, as you know, I'm not that. But like I don't want to have to go and read like 300 pages on like numerical stochastic methods to distill the 5 lines of code that I need. I can get a summary just quickly and then code it up. And then I can be like, is this code shit? And it can like update it for me. So I have to say is like it's for what I do, it can be quite useful. Don't let it think for you. It's like having
I just want to say real quick that I kind of want to proffer a very provisional fraud theory of financial markets. So one thing, financial markets encourage fraud. It's a regular occurrence. These speculative manias are, in a sense, fraudulent operations. And the fraudulent operation taking place here is that the people who run all of these AI companies have been promising people things that is quite frankly outlandish. Like the idea that you're going to, in one fell swoop, replace cultural labor with AI is a fantasy. It's a fantasy that they're using to sell the future expected returns from this AI bubble, right? They're saying, well, invest now because we're going to throw all of these these writers and artists and whatnot out of business and save all this money, and you're going to want to be there when it happens. But in reality, that completely misunderstands why people engage with art and cultural artifacts. That's not what AI should be used for. AI should be used to make researchers and scientists and medical like doctors' lives easier. It shouldn't be used to replace cartoonists or like Hollywood scriptwriters.
AI rap or soul versions of your favorite rap songs,
right?
You see, like Joe Rogan was like talking.
Yeah, can we put that up?
I'll find it and bring it up. Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, in terms of cultural products, it just the other thing is like it can never replace our joy in doing something, right? We have machines that can outcompete us in chess. We have for a while. It doesn't take away from the joy of playing chess, right? Getting good at it. Yeah, this Joe Rogan clip is just
Yeah, no, it's just there's actually another funny thing about AI music where there was like a fake AI psychedelic band called the Velvet Sundown, and they tried to like pass it off as like a real band, but everyone could tell that it was like fake music, and it was really shitty. It was like the most
Yo,
generic.
did you remember the AI rapper that got discontinued?
I think I do actually. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
This is my favorite
What
thing
was
to do
his
to people.
name? Oh, FN Mecca. This guy is so like this guy. I mean, this fucking AI artist is like the stupidest shit ever. Wait, I'm gonna post it. We can share it.
Well, let's watch this. This is so funny, like hearing Joe Rogan like just talk about how awesome this music.
No, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
The music's disturbing because it's my favorite music now. Like
AI music is your favorite.
Oh, there's AI covers. Have you ever heard any of the
Elon
AI
can't
covers of
believe
50
that.
Cent songs in soul?
No.
I'm gonna blow your mind.
Okay.
This is my favorite thing to do to people. Play "What Up Gangsta." Now, this guy, if this was a real person,
Yeah.
would be the #1 music artist in the world.
Okay.
Everybody would be like, "Holy shit! Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah.
He's it's like they took all of the sounds that all of the artists have generated
Sure.
and created
He's
the
a
most
monkey.
soulful, potent voice, and it's sung in a way that I don't even know if you could do because you would have to breathe in and out of reps. Here, put the headphones on. Put the headphones on real quick.
Okay.
You got to listen to this. It's gonna blow you away.
For the listeners, we gotta cut it out.
Yeah, we'll cut it out for the listeners. But amazing, right? Amazing. And they do like every one of his hits all through this AI generated
Can we actually
soulful
find
artist.
that song?
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible. I played in the green room. So people that are like, I don't want to hear AI music. I'm like, just listen to this. And they're like, God damn it. It's
Yeah.
fucking incredible. I mean,
It's only gonna get.
Do you want me to actually play it?
Yeah, let's play his. I swear, Joe Rogan is a monkey. It's incredible.
He's a mongoloid. What is with this guy?
I know. I was
Yeah,
listening to some.
I don't know why anyone would ever want to actually listen to this, but
Yeah, it
I
just
ju- I
makes
ju-
me think. Like I was listening to John McLaughlin Carnatic music today, and it's so beautiful. And I'm like, I just
yeah, I know. It's like you listen to actual jazz, or actual music, and it's like
I just find
Why
all
would
AI
you want
art
to
to
listen to
be
AI
just
music?
garbage, just absolute slop.
yeah. John McLaughlin is fucking goated, dude. He's
oh
so
yeah, John
good.
McLaughlin's incredible, dude.
He's so good.
No, I've been listening to
Mahavishnu Orchestra is just like, wow.
Oh, dude, if you like John McLaughlin, another really good jazz fusion guitarist, you got to look up is John Abercrombie.
Oh, actually, I haven't heard of him yet. I'll have to check him out.
And got to go look up John Abercrombie.
Worst name ever.
Hold
Oh wait,
on.
no, I have heard of him.
Found
I have
the-
heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he played with J. Jeanette, who died recently. Actually,
Yeah, he's really good at.
All right, here's some Shifty Brent.
Okay,
It's-
let's-
I checked it out after I saw this. It's just a gimmick. It's stupid.
What up, blood?
Oh wait, actually.
What up, blood? What up, cuz? What up, blood?
It just sounds like shitty soul.
What up, blood? What up, cuz? What up, blood? What up, gangsta? They say I stroll around like I got a crest on my chest. Nah, that's a semi-anniversary
Okay,
sitting
turn
tight
it
on my
off. This
chest.
is fucking shit. Turn it off.
I know.
Turn it
It's
off.
just listen.
It
It's
sounds like pastiche.
Bro,
Yeah,
like
awful.
soul is
yeah,
not,
exactly. No, yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
exactly.
sung that way. That rap fucking like the rap flow does not work with it. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't work. The rap flow does not work with it. It doesn't work. Yeah.
It's
You
just a
can't
stupid
rap it.
gimmick. And the thing is like that actually does sound better than most AI music.
Which I love. If that's the peak, then damn.
That's the
it
peak.
just
Yeah, that
sucks.
is the peak of it, and it's just a stupid gimmick. Like that's not even good.
Bro, how many gallons of water did they boil to produce that?
Yeah, I know, man.
That's the thing. Like I totally believe that AI has uses. Like there are plenty of legitimate uses, but like this is not one of them. Like replacing cultural labor, replacing like human creativity.
Yeah, and like the end goal is like I guess the end goal for the capitalist class is just automate away the pathetic proles. But I mean, what is that? It's just like what do they expect out of humanity at that point?
A vast underclass of unemployables.
of just supernumerary individuals. Yeah, I mean, what do they think that's
And
going to
then
happen?
they'll go off and ensconce to like Elysium in the sky or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at like Elon Musk being like, he's just like this thing recently has been lying about AI, saying that everyone is going to be a billionaire because of AI, and I'm like, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, no, that's the thing is like they're saying that like you'll be able to buy like a super truck and then have AI like pick people up for you to make money, and so you'll just like have your own like taxi service.
So why would they pay you in that instance? Why wouldn't they just?
I don't know. It's like so everybody.
Super truck.
Why wouldn't they cut out the middleman in that instance?
The whole dream is like it's like all these stupid Elon bros you meet, they just go on and on about how like, oh, Elon, he's gonna like turn every man into a king, like everyone.
He's such a fucking moron, I swear.
It's just so stupid. It's like
I'm just so tired.
This isn't how the world works, okay? Like if everybody's a capitalist, like that means there's no labor to make everybody into a capitalist. Like they just have
where's the surplus value gonna come from?
Yeah, exactly.
They don't get it. They
really do think that you can just like disappear the proletariat by like
you can't have an organic composition of capital 100%. There's no surplus value.
Yeah, I mean they don't understand how well.
Well, I guess UBI is their solution.
Well, it's interesting because it makes sense that he doesn't know the true basis of the production of wealth because he himself lives on a bed of fictitious capital.
Exactly.
Yeah, he does actually. His wealth is imaginary.
His very material conditions obfuscate the genuine basis of wealth production. But whatever. That was some decent ideological analysis.
So yeah, the AI bubble is very concerning, and I find the whole food stamps, the whole SNAP cutting thing being very concerning because it's just when you have that level of unemployment's rising, and now you're just going to cut welfare, and then you're going to go on like TV with Zoran and say, oh, the economy is better than it's ever been, and like.
Yeah, they're just getting away with shit, bro. I'm sick of it.
And they're getting away with this UN Security Council resolution that's basically a total colonial occupation of Gaza.
Yeah. And there's been
more aggression towards Venezuela as well.
There's been no ceasefire. They've killed over, I think, 300 Palestinians.
They just
Of course, today I saw like a bunch of Zionist accounts just like complaining that Hamas broke the ceasefire. It's like, what? See, you guys are literally just living in an alternate reality, I swear. Like, you've killed over 300 Palestinians. Like, how do you square that in your pathetic brains? I don't get it. It's just maddening. It's really maddening.
I mean, Israel's broken every single ceasefire.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Just not to be trusted. I mean, we predicted this. It doesn't take a great genius to predict this. They make it easy for us.
Yeah.
They've also been just continuously bombing South Lebanon. They killed apparently Hamas. I saw on Reuters that they killed a Hamas official in South Lebanon. So now they're just continuing to just violate the sovereignty of neighboring countries in order to kill members of the group that they ostensibly have a ceasefire with. Just like the number of gross infractions of whatever legal commitments they have is just it's overwhelming.
So real quick, can we get the background on the UN colonial resolution?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. There's some good coverage of it on the Drop site, good old Drop site.
Oh yeah, and then you have all the China apologists like being like, they're playing 4D chess.
What do you want them to do, man?
Well, yeah, they were acting like if China vetoed it, it would trigger World War IV or World War III. Sorry.
No, it wouldn't.
It's just no, that's not what's going to happen. Like, what it would have done is the U.S. would have occupied Gaza anyway, but what it would have done is at least would have taken away the legal
the quote unquote legitimacy of the Security Council, which by the way should be abolished today.
Yeah, the Security Council is a bunch of bullshit. In Russia, obviously, and unfortunately, Algeria voted for it, which is complete betrayal.
Which is pathetic. Yeah,
complete betrayal of their Arab nationalist past.
Yeah, it is.
And I think a lot of people were very mad that a lot of leftists were disappointed in China. They were saying that China, making just basically Chinese nationalist arguments, that China should only care about itself and it has no reason to take care of the problem. But the whole promise of multipolarity, all these advocates of multipolarity, their whole promise was that basically you're going to have new regions. We're going to new centers of power. We're going to develop that. We're going to offer alternatives to U.S. hegemony, which would open up the realms of possibility for the oppressed to make interventions in history. And that, these kind of openings provided by this kind of rise of China and Russia and countries like that would, create the possibility for alternatives to the U.S.-led order being the only domain of international law. That was kind of the promise of multipolarity. But if China doesn't even have the guts to stand up for international law and say that the U.S. has no business occupying Gaza, that this is an illegitimate occupation, then I don't really think the promise of multipolarity means anything. I think it's just a bunk. And, this is not to say that China doesn't have admirable things.
Jimmy, you're muted if you're trying to speak.
Oh,
Can you hear
you're
him?
muted, Jamil. He's muted.
I mean, let's be honest. Since Mao and even during Mao, the Chinese Communist Party has just been more or less a reactionary force in the world. I mean, what else do you call reconciling with the Americans versus the Soviets? Support for Mujahideen in Afghanistan, invasion of Vietnam, support of Khmer Rouge, support of UNITA and apartheid in Angola.
Yes.
Support of Pinochet in Chile. I mean, come on. We're going to have illusions about the role of the Chinese Communist Party globally. Let's not have any fucking illusions.
Yeah, I mean,
that track record is damning.
No, that sucks. Did you
that.
mention the invasion of Vietnam?
I did, yeah. They got their asses handed to them.
And the rapprochement with the U.S. happened under Mao.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, even during Mao.
Right. I mean, it was the whole strategy of the Cold War where the U.S. realized that China, they were more than willing to act in their national interest and that they could speak to the Chinese government as basically representatives of the Chinese national interest and not as representatives of the international communist movement, because they had split from the international communist movement. And so they were able to take advantage of that split, and China was more than willing to play into the hands of U.S. imperialism.
Yeah, it's as I said, I listed just a damning track record. I don't know how any communists could defend it.
And I think, though, the argument is that China perhaps became progressive in a way because of the rise of the Chinese economy, helped provide opportunities for growth in the global South, is kind of the argument.
Listen, I'm not going to argue that they're in the 20th century they've been a quote unquote malign force like the US has. It would be absolutely absurd to argue that, but to have illusions that they have some progressive place in the world order is equally naive, right? The U.S. does literally nothing but export barbarism. its role in the world is just.
That's kind of what the hope of China was, that you have a power that that seems to at least take the idea of international law seriously, but doesn't just export barbarism. It does actually try to, have cooperative, relations with other countries. At least is offering some kind of alternate form of globalization. Like there's a whole promise of altered globalization with China. And if China doesn't actually show leadership and actually doesn't show an alternate vision of what this new multipolar order will look like, I mean, it doesn't count for anything.
It does not.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the stuff on the Security Council. Okay, so this is on the China abstention. So China abstained on the U.S. drafted Gaza resolution, calling it deeply worrisome and incomplete. As a permanent Security Council member, Beijing could have vetoed the proposal but chose not to. Its UN envoy Fu Kong said the text doesn't demonstrate the fundamental principle of Palestinians governing Palestine, stressing that Gaza belongs to Palestinian people, not to anyone else. So why didn't you veto it? Additionally, he warned about the U.S. provide no details on the International Stabilization Force or of a Trump-led Board of Peace. Well, yeah, because they want to be able to make it as Israeli-friendly as possible. So they provide as few details as possible so they can just make it completely in their interest, including in their structure, composition, in terms of reference criteria preparation. So, yeah, I mean...
The UN Security Council, is it just like if one member vetoes, the entire thing is dead?
Yeah. And let's remember in the Korean War, do you guys think the CCP has baby organ forms? So I suspect, that's just CIA bullshit. That's
straightforwardly CIA.
That's
just insane nonsense. But
that's insane.
Yeah. Listen, there are things I respect about China. Don't get me wrong. Like I think Michael Roberts has been on here and he has a pretty reasonable stance on China.
Yeah, and as someone China was called the land of famine because after the destabilization caused by British, French, and German imperialism, the nation was reduced to a land of famine run by opium dealing warlords where ignorance, illiteracy, and opium addiction ruled the rural areas, and the cities were just like dens of just like vice and like gangsterism, and the place fucking sucked. Okay, because of the decline of the empire and because of European colonization. So what they've achieved in 80 years is not only a spectacular falsification of the typical capitalist narrative of modernity, but is also just like a stunning defeat to white supremacy, quite frankly. And in that way is deeply
I mean, it is a at least for the third world, like a stunning example of just as you said, like another path of development. It's not not replicable anywhere else, but we can't understate the importance for the third world that
definitely
like a nation like China was able to do what it did.
Yeah, man, this was a country that was largely illiterate and peasant, and people died at like 40 or 50. And look at and this was 80 years ago. We're talking, huh? And look where it is now. Actually, 80 isn't even 80. They got independence in 54. 54 is when I think they had uncontested. So yeah, I mean that's like, dude, that's like.
49 was when the Chinese Revolution consolidated.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking of I think 54 is the Great Leap Forward, isn't it?
56, I think, is.
Yeah, it's 54. The what was the economic program before that?
New Democracy, technically.
No. Well, it doesn't matter. 49 is, I think.
They called the general regime New Democracy first. I'm not sure what they called the economic program.
Wait,
I haven't
enacted
brushed up on this history. And I think the Great Leap Forward was like 60, 61 maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But anyway, so Hamas actually reached out to China and Russia asking them to veto this, and they didn't listen. So, because some people have been saying that they had to do it because the PA, the Palestinian Authority, who are just compradors of Israel, so that's bullshit. But it was clear that this is what the resistance wanted. They wanted that Russia and China to veto it, and listen, the idea that this would lead to nukes flying or some kind of apocalyptic scenario, if
who argued that?
Who
said that?
Just ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy.
No, just the China defenders online. I don't know. You don't have to sign up to be China's lawyer. Yeah, you can defend China without defending everything about it. Even
well,
there's no.
I hope the people that are doing that are at least getting a check from the CCP.
Yeah,
get that check, bro.
Get that money.
Get that cash money.
I don't know. I just don't see the point of making a big deal about defending China's decision not to veto this.
No, I mean, yeah. What do we get out of it? I'm confused.
Yeah, what do you get out of it other than just feeling good about how you stand up to the CPC?
About how contrarian you are, and you know what I'm saying, how edgy you are in America. It's God, give me a break.
And now they're saying that the American left is all turning on China. They're siding with Trump, but Zoran siding with Trump, and they're shitting on China. They're all becoming Nazis. The American left are going Nazi. Just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, shut up. It's like that Bad and Pinata guy, just chock full of dog shit takes.
Bad and Pinata.
Yeah, that guy's been really wild lately.
Been out of my ass. Yeah. I mean, he sucks.
He said if you're a part of DSA, you should be killed.
Yeah, just one dog shit hot take after the next.
It's but people get really butthurt and mad at him. It's just listen, you're just feeding him by
right. Just treat him like the irrelevant YouTuber that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just don't feed it. Just laugh at him.
Yeah.
You can't let him win because that's how he wins. If you get really mad and upset and get all precious about it.
You know me, I don't really get.
It's I got to defend the DSA from Bad Empanada. It's no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
where he's right, you say he's right, and where he's wrong, you say he's wrong.
Yeah, he's not even always wrong when he critiques the DSA too.
Yeah, I don't get what I mean. I'm as I said, I have a massive amount of respect for what the Chinese people have accomplished and what the CCP has done, but I'm also very clear on what their role has been over the last 50, 60 years.
Yeah, no,
the track record speaks for itself. It's not a good track record.
It's not an internationalist party.
It's not at all.
They are nationalists. They have given up internationalism and and they are fully nationalist at this point.
Yeah, it's it went from being Maoism in one country to Dengism in one country. The only globalist aspect is the fucking the capital that's invested there and the commodity.
Because they do participate in these globalist institutions, even the World Economic Forum and stuff. There is this kind of globalist aspect to the CPC that I almost I do kind of admire. And
but it's
because they do kind of there are points where they do kind of portray themselves as offering a new global path for civilization, but when they never actually offer real political leadership when the world is at crisis in moments like this.
It's also
I'm confused by the statement here. The PLA is not fully modern. If they do anything, Taiwan will. Taiwan is independent. What do you?
I suspect it's facetious.
Probably a
joke.
I suspect so as well. Yeah.
But
somebody was you don't understand. if Russia vetoes it, the U.S. will sanction the hell out of them, and
They're already sanctioned.
and they'll start a trade war with China.
Yeah,
They already did it.
they
The
tried
US
that and got fucking owned.
Their largest trading partner could start a trade war with them, and Russia could get sanctioned.
It's like that's what they did already with no fucking impetus. Yeah.
Yeah, they got owned on that one. So.
Yeah, they got.
It's like, what's the point of like being anti-West if you're not actually going to like, confront the West? And people like said, "Oh, well, the Soviets they did all kinds of realpolitik that like."
Yeah, it's not necessarily good either.
It wasn't good either, but like also the Soviets like they were willing to actually do all kinds of crazy shit against Israel. Like they sent weapons to Syria, they sent weapons to Iraq and Egypt and Algeria.
Yeah, bro.
And the PLO.
They sent more than weapons too. I mean, like
they were doing diplomatic support in the UN.
I mean, they sent a lot. They gave a good amount of economic and technical assistance to Algeria, for instance.
Yeah,
I don't see what the fuck they got out of that.
Even if their internationalism was like, if you can consider it instrumental, it was. They still put their money where their mouth was. You know?
Listen, they were letting German terrorists who are aligned with the PLO hang out in the Eastern Bloc and set up shop there. I don't,
To be fair, they were getting annoyed with them.
Yeah.
They were, but you would get annoyed with them too. Okay, you would also get annoyed.
No,
with
they were fucking annoying.
Yeah, they were.
Let's be honest. Yeah,
those hippies, those hippies would get on my nerves.
I also want to say, like, in reference to Taiwan, China doesn't have to do anything about Taiwan. In 50 years, Taiwan will voluntarily reunify with China.
Yeah, that's the thing. Words. China just has to wait.
I feel like I've heard that the Kuomintang actually, a lot of the Kuomintang actually supports.
Yeah, the Kuomintang is as a whole pro-China now.
That's hilarious, bro.
Chiang Kai-shek is rolling in his grave, bro.
He's literally like, what the fuck, bro?
I died for nothing.
All that because the CPC is the of the Chinese nationalist project. Like,
yeah, they saw like, yeah, they're not really into the.
They've won.
Yeah, they totally won. Yeah,
they won.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck,
Chiang Kai-shek's son was like kind of like a crypto commie. He was educated in the Soviet Union.
Oh wow. Well, yeah. I mean, as you guys know, like,
I mean, this was when they were holding him hostage, basically.
Like, I mean, Chiang Kai-shek, the Kuomintang got a huge amount of support from Stalin, and in fact, that's like even after the massacres of I think 1929 in Shanghai and other cities, Stalin was like, "Yo, can you guys make friends with Chiang Kai-shek?" And the communists like, we tried that. They fucking massacred us. And like even after World War II, Stalin insisted that the communists not take power and not run and not defeat the Kuomintang, but like back off and stay in their northwest territory. Stalin really just what a motherfucker, dude. Over and over, that was the case after World War II. For what? To appease fucking Churchill and Truman? Like, come on. Like the Greeks, he fucked over the Greeks. He fucked over the Serbians.
Just on the Comintern.
He fucking shut down the Comintern to show his good face to the unbelievable, man. But anyways, reading off topic.
Yeah.
I'm just being a dirty
so yeah, place your poly market bets. Taiwan will be part of China by 2075.
Yeah, can you? What is it? They apparently Kalshi. It's called Kalshi, right?
Yeah, the American version is Kaoshi.
Yeah. Apparently, it's supposed to be Kulshi. Apparently, it's supposed to be based on Kulshi, like everything in Arabic. But they wrote it Kalshi, which is not Arabic at all and doesn't sound at all like Kulshi. So, who are these people?
They're grifters.
Yeah, they can't even. They have one person. They have one person translating for them. Like unbelievable.
Chiang Kai-shek also had a son who served in the Wehrmacht. I didn't know that.
Wow, that is no.
That's a man of many different dimensions, many contradictions.
I'm surprised by that.
That's nuts. I didn't know that. Also, a kind of damning.
Bro, how the political spectrum in that family was all over the place.
Yo, how the fuck did the Nazis accept him?
fucking the nationalist warlord. I think it was pretty.
Yeah, I think they could find common ground.
No, but I mean ideologically, yeah. But with the whole racial,
Well, he was also one of the founding members of the Anti-Comintern Pact.
Who?
Chiang Kai-shek, wasn't he?
Yeah.
These racialists, you know, they're fine with working with the lower race as long as they know their place in the pyramid. You know,
That's true.
It's weird, but there is a logic to it. Radio War Nerd have an episode that I mentioned his role in annexing Austria. Wow, I did not know that. Actually, that is interesting.
Fucking weird. Okay, well, what else were we gonna?
I think we covered everything we planned on talking about.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, they did. The KMT relied on German after kind of sort of a breakdown with the Soviet Union. They relied on military expertise from the Germans, and they actually were using like German like military strategy to try to defeat the Chinese communists before the Chinese communists did the Great March or the Long March.
Before we log off, there's one thing onto the play, which was like Nick Fuentes actually laid out his plan for like fixing Israel or whatever, and it's the dumbest thing. It's like the dumbest thing ever.
Wait, okay, let's see.
It's like something that like Jeffrey Epstein would come up with, actually. Like it's actually like surprising like how moderate and like Obama pilled it is.
With Qatar.
How do you envision American foreign policy in the Middle East once AF takes back control of the country?
We need to restrain Israel. I think that we should build on our alliance with Saudi Arabia, with Qatar, with the Emirates, but I also think that we should work with Iran. We should do to Iran what we're doing to Venezuela. And by that, I mean maximum pressure. At the same time, we need to restrain Israel. I would do regime change in Israel. I would install a puppet in Israel working for the U.S. government, and I would hold them back. And I would make a deal with Iran. Maybe I would let them enrich somewhere in the country with inspections, and I would integrate Iran into the regional economy. I would integrate them. I would take off the sanctions if there were weapons inspections, and I would use that maybe to even earn their support over Russia. Just like Russia's making a play for Saudi Arabia, I would make a play for Iran. And I would do so by restraining Israel. And I would try to increase U.S. support in the Middle East. It's a very important region. And it seems that we've got a chance at having a favorable government with al-Shara in Syria, good relationship with Erdogan in Turkey, good relationship with all the Gulf countries. I mean, I like what they're doing, but the problem is that Israel is truly a pariah. They want to keep the Middle East unstable so that they can continue to pursue their conquest.
All just
they don't want to stabilize Lebanon because they want the territory. They don't want to stabilize Syria because they want the territory. They don't want a deal with Iran because they want regime change in Iran. So that's what I would do.
Count Sakul has sent $100.
So yeah, I thought that was really fucking funny.
Did you see the clip where he was like calling for a red-brown alliance with the left?
Yeah, hold on. Let me try to find that one.
This shit is
like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, he's been kind of doing that for a bit, but I just found that to be so funny because like his actual like, you know, he's very like hyping up this guy. It's like, oh, he's like the next Hitler. He's like, oh, you know, like, and his domestic policies for America actually are like horrifyingly fascistic. But like when it comes down to like what his policies towards Israel is, it's like, oh, I just think that we need to like put in a puppet government.
Well, I mean, he's just a neocon. That's
he's just a neocon. Like he basically is just a neocon who doesn't like Israel.
Yeah,
which is like kind of like contradictory to the whole point of
like his whole thing of not opening up to the world. Yeah.
Well, it's also contradictory to the point of neocons because they all love Israel, but like
yeah, they love him.
I mean, yeah, the project is to use Israel as like the tip of the spear.
He's just a neocon who realized that like project needs to restrain Israel in smarter, the better. Like
I mean,
the Middle East.
The one thing that I might agree with him is like they need to get rid of whatever the fuck is happening in Israel. Like at this point, if the CIA can kill Netanyahu, I would support that.
Yeah,
just kill him.
I mean,
Murk Netanyahu, please.
I think even the Americans are starting to realize that it's getting a little. They can't restrain them. They can't do anything to change what they do.
CIA-backed regime change in Israel. I support it.
Did you see that Netanyahu posted the Jacobin article about Epstein?
Huh?
Did you see that Netanyahu posted the Jacobin article about Epstein?
Really?
Hold on, yeah. Look. Jeffrey Epstein claimed to have meddled in Israel's elections. That's the
What
man
is he trying to
himself.
say here?
Well,
do we think Epstein was Mossad? He was a free agent.
He was a freelance intelligence asset.
Yeah, he was certainly a high level like Mossad asset. Like absolutely.
We've done like 3 episodes on Epstein at this
point.
point.
It's not
He's spoken a lot.
It's not even possible to deny that at this point. Like but to say that he was like a Mossad, to say he was Mossad, I don't think he was Mossad. He's just a high level asset for Mossad. But he was
he was in the game for sure. I mean, he's probably like an asset for Mossad and Shin Bet, you know, like. But
yeah,
I mean, he was also an asset for the CIA.
Yeah. No, he was like totally just out for himself, but absolutely he was an asset for them. But did he like work for them? No, like.
Yeah, I think his ultimate boss was him. He was creating his own like private intelligence empire, kind of like LaRouche was.
Yeah. Yeah, the CIA is kind of like big Mossad.
Well, apparently there are CIA guys who like hate Mossad because Mossad like leaks their intelligence, you know, that they share with them.
No,
I think it's a sibling rivalry.
There's definitely like different sections of the CIA who have like beef with Israel, and then like sections that are more pro-Israel. But you know,
listen, if you're something like the NSA, like your whole job in part is just like keeping information contained, right? So if there's some other agent that's like fucking with your ability to do that, you're necessarily going to hate them, right? I mean, like, what else can you think?
Like a professional rivalry, honestly.
I mean, isn't there like good evidence that that Mossad stole nuclear secrets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Isn't it detailed? Is it detailed in this book, The Ghost: The Secret Life of CIA Spy Master James Jesus Angleton?
I've actually heard of that.
I haven't read that yet, but I've heard good things about it. And I talked about Angleton on here before because he kind of like mastered the strategy of like using Zionism to turn Soviet Jews into a fifth column.
Yeah. That's incredible. Yeah. So no, I mean, yeah, you should listen to our episode on Epstein. I think we did.
Yeah, but I will say the angle here with Netanyahu posting this article is that Epstein was friends with Ehud Barak, who was the opposition to Netanyahu, and
there you go.
Epstein was working to help Ehud Barak against. Yeah, Jonathan Pollard was the name of that Israeli spy who got pardoned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a case worth looking into if you want to look into some Zog type shit. But yeah, the Jeffrey Epstein thing here with Netanyahu. He's basically Netanyahu's son has actually promoted Epstein stuff before in the past because
because
Barak
like they
Epstein.
knew that Ehud Barak was associated with him.
Right. And the funny thing is like most Americans, they see that like Epstein worked with Israel and they don't think, oh, that means that he was like working with like this one faction of Israel who was against Netanyahu. They just think Epstein was working with Israel and those guys all worked together to colonize the Palestinians and kill them and subvert our government. They don't like think about it that way. But Israelis they're like so narcissistic and full of themselves and think their society is like so divided.
Well,
So
to
for
be
them, like
fair,
Epstein is like they can only think of Epstein as how it relates to their own society, and so Netanyahu thinks that like bringing attention to this is good for him because he can use it against his political rival. When the reality is that like you're just bringing attention to the fact that like Epstein, the fucking pedophile sex trafficker, was working with Israel.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I agree. No one outside of, I mean, we kind of understand the divisions, right? Because we know a little bit more.
Well,
But
we
you're right. The
understand the
average.
divisions, but we also understand that they don't really mean that much at the end of the day.
Well,
because
I mean, especially they do mean something, but not much when it comes to colonization of Palestine.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't really mean shit. The inner logic of Zionism wins over any of the peculiarities or particularities of the political factions, right? So, yeah, it's super fucking so cringe. First off, it's just absolutely bananas that he quoted a Jacobin article. It's just unbelievable.
It is really funny though. And
Yeah.
then Ehud Barak's people like started to be talking about Jacobin as they were calling it an anti-Semitic publication. They're like, Netanyahu was promoting an anti-Semitic publication that like is spreading libel about
Oh my God, we've gotten to the peak delusion of Zionists.
I know.
Netanyahu is Hamas.
No,
we've reached the like absolute pinnacle. Most likely to be Mossad.
Okay, yeah, let's oh no. Oh,
Nah.
not me.
I'm Mossad, you got me.
Donald.
Yeah, you live in New York. You live in New York City, that's true.
I mean, I could be like a Bunyul fucking, like supporter of Mossad as an Algerian, but I don't know. I don't think
Yeah, I'm a crypto Jew by way
Yeah.
of Sephardic.
Listen, I've been called a
Sephardic,
crypto Jew many times as well, so I don't know.
Well, Carlos, you might actually have claim. I'm sure you have some Sephard in you.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that.
You probably have. Because
Don't worry, the Mossad will approach me with that information.
But once we reconquista Iberia, you're invited.
I'll retire to Algeria.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We can live in our palaces in fucking Granada. Take it back. We're taking it back.
Yeah, no, Mossad ain't getting to none of us. We're all good. We're all good.
What will you all do? What will you do with this conclusion? What, the Reconquista or us being Mossad? I mean, we can't do much with it. We're just gonna have to. It's kind of like that guy who was. Oh, who's Mossad?
I actually got this book recently about Mossad. I haven't started it yet, but Gideon Spies.
That's thick.
Yeah, it's a thick one. It's a big thick one.
What is it? What book?
Gideon Spies. It's like a history of Mossad.
Oh wow, that's gonna be a lovely read. You're gonna fucking enjoy that. I've been reading Shlomo Sand actually right now.
Oh really?
Yeah, Invention of a Jewish People. And so I'm curious because I started getting into like the archaeological aspect, because apparently like archaeology is like a religion in Israel. So I kind of understand more. What's really funny is that like all these Israeli academics have been like, yeah, there's basically like no historical or archaeological basis to any of this shit. And everyone in Israel's kind of like, oh, that's cool. Okay, whatever. Like,
I don't know if I can read this chat, but it's kind of funny.
yeah, let's not.
You cannot say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to make there's some limits. There's some limits. Make Umayyad Hispania great. Yeah, I agree, man. Make it Muslim again.
I think that was actually like a POUM line, which was that like the Reconquista was like a retardation of historical progress because it held back the development of like Islamic mercantile production.
Interesting take.
Have you heard that take before?
That's quite the take. Also, it incredible counterfactual.
Yeah.
You cannot. It's an interesting one, but there's no way to like.
There's no way to go about.
I feel like it was like a way for them to troll the Spanish nationalism of the Stalinists, maybe.
Well, that's great. Then I like that.
Yeah.
Listen, Red Panda, hit me up. I'll link you up with Mossad.
Yeah.
I'll get you all the deeds.
Had to be someone off the proverbial. If you had the oh, come on. We're not voting anyone off the island.
Oh, okay. Thank you for
Finkelstein.
Thank you for the recommendation. You don't have to be.
There's literally a guy named Israel Finkelstein. That's pretty funny. It's like
That's
a mix of Israel Shahak and Norman Finkelstein. We got like the most based Jew of all time.
And they just fused into the most based Jew of all time.
Yeah.
Just Jew Voltron.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look at this. This looks really good.
Ilan Pape talks a little bit about it in his Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine book.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how like all these, as I said, like a lot of some of the best factual material to refute the myths of Zionism have been produced within Israeli academia. So they're highly useful tools, and produced by really good historians and archaeologists and stuff. So yeah, Khalidi, another goated guy. Yeah, it is kind of, yeah. Well, it depends what you mean. It's the most like Ashkenazi kind of name ever, right? Because Finkelstein is not really, it's not very Middle Eastern.
More like, I don't know, German, Polish.
Nah, that's like categorically like German / yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Remember when that Shia sectarian guy came on here?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Since I've joined Twitter, I've suffered more racial animus than I have in the last 10 years, like combined. It's been bad.
That is all Twitter is, dude. It's just
dude.
racialism.
I just get subjected to racism on Twitter like every day. Like, you dirty Algerian. You're dirty, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't even know you. What I love is they can say all kinds of shit, like, oh, like you worship, like, blah blah blah, like guy who, just they say all kinds of shit against the prophet, which even though I'm an atheist, like it makes my blood boil because it's just a disrespect.
Because it's just demagogic, like.
Well, it's just disrespect to the utmost degree, right?
Yeah, it's just demagogic disrespect.
No, not everyone loves Algerians, man. Algerians don't even love Algerians. No,
I feel like it's like similar in the Arab world as it is in like the Latin world.
What?
Like Latin America, where like everyone has these petty national divisions.
No. Algerians have. I mean, Middle Easterners kind of look down on us, but like because we speak like dirty Arabic, and we're not real Arabs or not real like. But
brother, it's not very different in the Latin American world.
Yeah, no, but people politically have a pretty good like Palestinians love us. And for because it's the country of a million martyrs, right? Every Palestinian I've ever met, like I've had that connection, but Egyptians and Algerians have like weird beef for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I can't believe that, man. Like, you'd be very proud of the Algerians for what they did.
Well, Egyptians are kind of like it's the biggest economy, culturally the most significant. There's like a kind of Egyptian chauvinism, right? Where clearly not everyone, but there's.
So Egypt is the Mexico of the Arab world.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's a decent analogy. Yeah,
because Mexico has the same sort of relationship with the rest of the Latin American world, but there's like chauvinism and.
Well, they have like the biggest
hegemony,
biggest economy, culturally,
right? Exactly,
kind of the most significant,
most important, kind of.
Yeah, I think that was maybe one of the reasons why Pan-Arabism was kind of complicated, was because a lot of the partners maybe felt like Egypt was in it for themselves.
Well, yeah, and people also came in with that kind of chip on their shoulder, right? Which is that like, oh, the Egyptians are gonna fucking big bro us, like.
Well, I mean, the Syrians felt like they weren't benefiting from the union as much as the Egyptians were, and they, on economic terms, they really weren't, to be honest.
So. Yeah.
How could they?
Yeah, I mean, Amazigh culture is cool. But it depends what I mean, it's very vast culture. Amazigh. It's like saying like.
I mean, I think all cultures are cool except Israeli.
Yeah,
It's the only culture that can die, that can perish off the face of the
which
earth.
consists of eating mediocre hummus and fucking doing club drugs and raving in Tel Aviv, and then every 6 months deploying to kill Palestinian children. That's their culture. Yeah, I mean, Amazigh culture is cool. Yeah, it depends what you mean, I guess. I mean, Amazigh is very vast. It's just the people of, basically just the people of North Africa. But okay, one thing I do want to shit on Morocco, because I wouldn't be a proper Algerian if I didn't. I was reading the other day that the Moroccans sent troops, or no, they gave assistance to the Congolese in the fight against Angola. So like once again, Morocco being a reactionary shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nasser was handsome. He was a good one.
Yeah, Nasser really did kind of hold it together through like his mastery of mass media.
Well, he was also just like incredibly charismatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the biggest radio station was controlled by him. He was able to reach tons of people for new technology.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up because
hold on, we got to answer this question first.
Oh man.
And white Mormons are subhuman.
We'll answer this question and not the other one.
Okay, well, I guess this question helps me answer this question, which I guess I have to answer as Utah.
I'm sorry, Donald, but I choose
because
Florida.
I was like, my mom really hates Mormons. Like she hates the Mormon church. I shouldn't say she hates Mormon people. She hates the Mormon church, because
I think Mormon people are nice. Like,
dude, the Mormons
to an almost
I've met,
freakish extent.
The Mormons I've met and have interacted with have been really nice, and I like them, quite frankly. I know that the church is another thing, and historically,
it's kind of like Zionism, dude. It's kind of like a crazy settler cult.
Yeah, it kind of is, but I don't know, man. Like, I haven't yet to hear or see anything problematic coming from the mouth of. I mean, that's just my experiments. Yeah,
let's not go that far.
Yeah, listen. You haven't dealt with Mormons like I have, okay? Like,
okay, that might be true. I know that. Listen, I know the role that they play politically, and
these people are a problem.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm a New Yorker, but Mormons are too nice. Like, to a degree where I'm very suspicious.
Yeah, like they're very business savvy. They'd rather watch their grandma die than hit a vape.
That's nuts.
They have like very weird morals when you actually get down to it. Like they, I think maybe we should talk about Mormons in another episode.
Yeah,
I would love to talk about Mormons.
Our friend Gus from Cosmonauts done a lot of research on Mormons.
Okay, wait. What state would I nuke? Dude, I have to say Washington, D.C. It's not a state.
Yeah.
It's not a state.
I'm sorry, Maryland.
Oh, Washington State's a state. Seattle.
Well, Washington State is lovely.
No, I'm not saying Washington State. I'm saying literally Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington, D.C. Okay. Yeah, that's a good choice.
That's the right Mormon space for that is. You are literally hallucinating right now.
Hold on, I wanna give my answer because I choose Florida.
Oh no, I gotta evacuate.
I'm sorry, Donald. I love you very much. You're a dear friend, but Florida is a hellhole.
No, I agree with your choice. To be honest, I would have said the same thing if I didn't say Utah.
Like just my personal experience of Gusanos and like the right wing lunatics in Florida.
Oh wait, let's be honest, Texas, because there's just it's the basis of so much reaction.
And I like barbecue. That makes it hard.
Yeah, but come on, there's like, come to Algeria. We'll make you way barbecue than any of this shit there. Like,
no, listen.
American barbecue is like the one thing that culinarily.
Yeah, but
Americans
grilling meat is not the mark of a great cuisine. Everyone.
It's not just grilling meat, though.
Like people slow grill meat. Like it's not like they discovered fucking fire or some shit. I mean, come on. Like,
but the sauce,
it's not just grilling the meat,
Dog, I'm telling you,
and the spices.
You will come to Algeria. You'll have mystery. You'll have
a mystery.
A mystery. It's like a spices on the lamb, full lamb grilled over the spit for hours. You've never had such tender meat. It just melts. None of that Texas shit beats it. I'm telling you.
Let me know when we're going to Algeria.
Let's do it.
Cosmonaut is Mormon occupied.
I don't think so. I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
no, that's not happening. I'm not on my watch. Not on my watch. I will lead a cultural revolution to demormonize Cosmonaut.
Okay, y'all. We should wrap up. It's
Yeah.
I gotta eat food.
Yeah, it's getting to be that time, comrades. As always, it was a fun show. Thanks for hanging out in the chat.
Yeah,
Thanks
tell your
for,
friends, come hang out.
Keeping it real, and as always, keep on trucking.
Yep. And read Cosmonaut magazine. Buy our merch because we have no money and we need money to run this thing.
And yes, we will let you know when the DSA party dictatorship comes. Ready.
Working on it.
Or working.